internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to kill him.
Is that a jeweler named Duke recently got killed. And the story's really messed up. So I want you to talk about what happened.
Crimson Street Dice danced on that velvet table like they were in a gangster film. Ah! They smirked at each other, but only one man would go with air in his chest. Jeweler Duke did not depart amicably. You don't have any money? He checked out of this world, surrounded by hunters. And the black cloud of mob ties is now gathering. The feds are locked and loaded. Duke wasn't your typical victim. He was not unaware of it, back on the streets. His exit from Boosie's Dice game was quickly followed by this. He left with folks who gave him daps 1 minute and regarded him suspiciously the next. Those same faces are now sweating in the federal heat. Furthermore, 50 Cent is out there stepping up the music, dropping hints and teasing a plot twist that is much more complex than anyone could have predicted. Now, it's playing out in real life like a criminal drama. 2 weeks before the dreadful departure of Takeoff at Aduc was playing a dice game that bore striking similarities to a J. Prince Jr. setup. And when the wrong guy starts winning, everything falls apart. At the moment, Mob Tie's inner circle is being attentively observed. Boosie J. Prince Jr. was once skated past by Lil Camino, what started out as whispers. It is now considered official paperwork. But how did things come to this? Let's travel back in time because what looked like a chill the dice game may have been a smiling trap from the start. From the outside, Duke the Jeweler seemed to be living the dream. He built his empire from the ground up, was self-made, and was raised in Chicago. Furthermore, he wasn't just shackling random individuals competing for power. This man was making expensive things for actual power players in the major leagues, not just social media glitz. He wasn't only in Houston to show off. This was serious discussion of money. Rumor has it that Boosie got a bespoke project. Therefore, Duke packed his $1 million Louis bag and departed with the finest pieces of pure ishi. The possibility that the business meeting was a secret ploy was unknown to him. Now let's concentrate on that dice game. Do you believe the audio that was made public by Whack 100? And this is coming from someone with a lot of street connections. It wasn't your typical gambling night. It was organized. Rumor has it that J. Prince Jr. might be behind what some are calling a loaded dice operation. The mind-blowing section comes next. All three names are identical: Little Cam, Big Capri, and Wolf. Like a rehearsed act, they shuffle those dice in a rhythm too perfect to overlook. The catch is that house never loses unless someone breaks the loop and the whole plot unravels.
Man,
Clearly, someone made a mistake. It appears that Duke was given dice that weren't meant for him because of the wax leak. Yes, they had been tampered with. He started winning right away. He began with small bills, progressed to stacks, and eventually reached 5 figures. And when someone tampers with a system that should be strictly regulated, those in authority get nervous. Let's talk about numbers. Sources claim that J. Prince Jr. keeps roughly 30% of every dice session. So when Duke started raking it in, it wasn't just bad timing. Someone was losing money as a result. Duke also didn't remain silent about it. Was intelligent, vivacious, and noisy. He was on full ice, throwing money like confetti and recording every flex for social media. The temperature starts to drop at this point. You'll observe Boosie whistling faintly when you freeze the video. From that night, just enough, but not too loud. Then his nephew looks directly at Duke. A man in a red hoodie then leans in and taps the nephew's arm as a silent cue. In a moment, the whole mood shifts. Duke is grinning and living large for a minute. The air then appears to have been drawn out. Stepping out of the room, at a few minutes after that shift in energy, Duke vanishes. It is impossible to evoke that level of emotion. Here, there was no hesitation. It was instinct. Because it seems strange to walk into a room full of people who are already aware of the conclusion of the story, if you're still convinced that this was just another game night. Ask yourself why Boosie would show up with a visitor flashing $1 million drip around people without even a hint of backup. Why did J. Prince Jr. fail to lock in some kind of protection for someone rolling solo with that much ice? Supported all the way to Duke's departure from the game. No muscle, no ride-on standby, no entourage. Duke is spotted roaming by himself across a darkly lit Houston parking lot following an evening spent with wealthy people. Does it feel weird? It is because of this. But this is the point at which mistrust turns fatal. The sound of gunfire breaks the silence a few seconds later. Duke is unprepared and regrettably does not make it. Duke still had everything on him, but in a typical setup or cunning robbery, the jewels and cash usually vanish first. So what kind of purported heist is missing the $1 million drip? He performed the same icy compositions at Boosie's concert, hours before things took that awful turn.
What's the hard time, but never gave up. I stayed tough, even when I got my chain stuck. Go through hard time, but we know that what made us. Can't blame us, we love the script, but that what paid us. Yeah, ain't gonna ask, I know them niggas laid up. I call King, I get the pressure going where I'm up. I can't even find.
The plot takes a very different turn at this moment. Duke was holding a Louis Vuitton purse. Indeed, that bag. The one with his most precious, unreleased, specially made ice in... It didn't just vanish into the night. It was discovered in Boosie's own house. Let it marinate for a while. It's not rumors. It was confirmed by the Houston Police Department. Whether Boosie got it in some way after things went wrong, or whether Duke gave it to him to keep safe during the game is still up for debate. But here's what is undeniable. That bag was brought back to where is Boosie. Duke didn't. And in his apprehensive Instagram live from an airplane, Boosie explained everything, brushing it off as though Duke hadn't even occurred to him. Just a stranger who showed up out of the blue. Appropriate, handy timing.
Dudes tried to rob him. Some dudes had tried to rob me and walked off by himself, bro. I had just met dude yesterday. Some bitch that tried to rob dude, man. Dude must ain't get up.
Folks from Flight Zach, we're up to the departure. Flight attendants, please bear the count.
Just
Hold on. Did Boosie indicate that Duke was supposed to create him a one-of-a-kind piece? Even though you hardly knew the man, you invited him to an exclusive dice game and then allowed him to depart alone to his car, exhibiting a remarkable degree of gloss. Yes, that plot is more flawed than a twist from a soap opera. And Boosie didn't stop there.
oh, he must have walked outside to the parking lot. We was in the garage. We heard this, but it like they was far away in the parking lot. He must have went to his car or something. Dude was finna make a piece of it too. Damn.
Let's be honest. He wasn't exactly providing benign energy. The pale face and the frantic atmosphere could not be ignored. And if you thought that was the height of the drama, buckle up. Only gets worse. Authorities divided Duke's case into a separate federal probe since. They were already looking into Boosie for a different set of questionable behavior. Avoid playing games of waiting, receiving care at the rear of the line. One goal is to learn the truth about Duke's situation. Naturally, they followed the digital breadcrumbs. Duke's last call, Boosie's office, ping. And unless it got legs somehow, someone from Boo's crew took the phone there. To make matters worse, no one tried to hide. After the ping, it just shut off, as though someone intended it to disappear without a trace, undamaged. That infuriated the feds. Then they tore apart Duke's rental. Forensics recovered fingerprints from Boosie's cousin and nephew. Just when you thought this was max out chaos, you're surprised. A bystander outside of the puffin declared that they saw Duke walking by himself to his car. Until it wasn't, everything seemed to be tranquil. Suddenly, Boosie's nephew showed up there as though he had been waiting for the appropriate opportunity. Duke must have sensed the change in atmosphere because he is said to have thrown the first hit, tried to compete. But with one quick move, things were already different, and the shot is credited to Boo's nephew. And the worst is yet to come. They didn't try to pass it off as a robbery. Why? Because there was no money involved. It was about, instead of discarding the bag, they retained it, which silenced him. It goes beyond simple negligence. That's brave. Who do you believe took such bold action? 50 Cent. Have you noticed that when superstars arrive in Houston, there's generally a hidden warning, you should check in? Although it's known, it's never documented. Artists, ballers, and influencers all get the message. Entering Houston without telling J. Prince Jr. and the Mob Ties crew who you are puts you at grave risk. However, this is the messy part that no one wants to admit. What if you are told to check in with the same crew that is pulling the strings? Recall that Prince Jr. hosted a dice game in which Duke rolled up. It's the same setup from the night takeoff. Killed him, and then Duke vanished as well. The entire check-in atmosphere shifted from one of safety to side eyes. Because if J. Prince Jr. had Houston on lock, as he claims, it would be odd to have two visitors leave caskets. You had to listen to Whack 100
Cover for him, hanging out, everything is cool. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. He introduces the dice game. He got three mothers, right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said, what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler round and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however their money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice are the three designated to say I'm up, I got the neck, and they.
Prince Jr. lures artists with a phony, comfortable vibe, calms them down, and then throws them into dice games with individuals. He said, calling the whole thing a setup.
To all the entertainers, you know, Dukes of Hazzard was one of my favorite shows, right? I don't know if y'all watched that. I was thinking about Daisy Dukes for a reason. I don't know why I said that. You know, one might go with it, may not go with it, but I don't know. The math is math and let it math. But entertainers, beware. Oh, with J. Prince Jr., when he talked about let's go shoot some dice. Because the loaded dice crew is three, Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice. We know Lil Cam in there because I believe somehow, some way, he was caught up in the dice situation. Rest in peace, Takeoff. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know this, J. Prince Jr. got a whole thing that when y'all come into town, hold on, bro. Didn't they say Fifth Ward earlier that day shooting dice?
Yep, that's a fact. That word been out, Wet. That word been out. We been out that memo.
And then, so they've been getting hit all day, and it got to the point at the thing, Quavo like, getting into dice. That's what this nigga J. Prince Jr., boy, these niggas got all kind of shit going on down there. They say, he said the jeweler nigga got past the dice. He didn't even know the motherfuckers was loaded. He just think he hit. These niggas is mad as a motherfucker because they like nigga.
Now, the rumors are circulating. Some celebs are quietly pulling back. Labels are canceling shows in Houston. The mood is getting more heated. Due to 50 Cent's open criticism of videos and unrestrained subtitles, the entire game has been on fire. Some others say he's playing with fire. Some think he is the only one who has the guts to say what everyone is thinking. Meanwhile, insiders claim that Boosie's. This time, there's no getting out, and he's losing it because he thinks the feds are breathing down his neck. They kept this case apart from Boosie's previous gun issue and concentrated entirely on the night Duke was killed. Now they are looking into everything: his homes, his financial dealings, and even his son's internet activity. But the real drama might come from his inner group. Boosie's fiancé allegedly informed someone that he went back inside that night and seemed to be definitely hiding something. But Boosie is still out there acting like he doesn't know what he's doing and acting like he should win a prize. And he keeps twisting the same sentence as though we haven't heard it 100 times before. Now, they're whispering about the real teeth Boosie Falls. Who is he taking with him? Let's face it, Boosie isn't a solo act. His nephew is in the middle of the mayhem. In the middle of all of this is his cousin's name. He is also related to J. Prince Jr., who has been criticized in the past after Takeoff's unfortunate departure. Everything seems haphazard. Furthermore, it seems as though every thread returns to the same circle. But wait, it's going to grow hotter. Finesse twice. The same artist who formerly supported Hardy's mob ties is now openly criticizing him. J. Prince Jr. was removed from his name in every meeting to barely mention his name. Something obviously broke. It was a slight difference at first. Junior's grace had vanished. No group performances or behind-the-scenes pictures. Then the whispers grew loud. It seems that a lady caused everything to fall apart. But not just any woman. Vanessa's child's mother. Ada said that she and her own mother set him up, called the police, and caused him to get into trouble again due to a probationary issue. Who cleaned it up for you? Do you know? Naturally, J. Prince Sr. In 2 weeks, Finesse was back out after a few phone conversations and some behind-the-scenes networking. But was he loyal? Absolutely not. Finesse came back to her right away. That's when the senior tapped out. He said it out loud on Twitter. No sugarcoating. I told the true life homie to stay away from that girl at all costs. To get the friend out of jail, I had to step in, but he wouldn't listen to me. If you think these women are looking out for your best interests, you should be cautious. The situation shifts from awkward to outright explosive at this point. Has it that someone may have been stalking J. Prince Jr. Finesse's girl? There are even claims that he got her pregnant. Is there proof? Absolutely not. The fact that others are even doing it gracefully, nevertheless, hasn't deterred it. It says a lot. While some fans rejected it as sloppy hearsay, others started to piece things together. Junior has been in conflict with the Takeoff team. A silent static is growing between him and Boosie. And now Finesse is breaking down in front of everyone. Before your entire kingdom collapses, people want to know how many silent wars you can launch. Let's tell the truth. When your brand is all about control, intimidation, and behind-the-scenes chess plays, it only takes one mistake. Everything disappears after one artist, one betrayal, or one leak. Everyone's eyes are now locked. Will Boosie be the first to speak? Will J. Prince Jr. create the entire story to save himself because of 50 Cent's obsession with underworld drama? Or will Finesse expose the truth? Either way, it's coming up fast. And those soft murmurs are turning into echoes of door knocking. Behind the scenes, Boosie's wealth concealments are being extensively examined by federal authorities. The Baton, the entire Rouge estate, and his Georgia land are being filmed. Every coin is being monitored. Thus, this is no longer only conjecture. Boosie is officially in the hot seat. In addition, J. Prince Jr. was the star of the show. The performers are withdrawing. Labels are taking a back seat. This isn't a little music dispute. Rico's energy is evident in this. It will only take one leak, whether from the feds or TMZ, to prove that Duke's claimed shooter was actually captured on camera.